me.
You're
BP,
on.
how's that going over there? What you on, Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Guys, welcome back. Natural Sponge and Friends podcast number 11. It's Sponge in the building, baby. We got two beautiful young ladies in the house tonight. Our first female podcast guest. It's going to be a fun ride. It is, you could say early in the morning or late night. I don't even know what time it is, but it's after midnight. So I guess I do. So we have to say, what is that?
It's 12:13.
12:13 a.m. They have to give a shout out to Diamond Wizards Baseball, Powers, Natural Sponge and Friends, Life Sports Love podcast. Make sure you guys check out DW on Twitter. They are the lifeblood. I am the lifeblood of baseball here. Make sure you guys check out Phoenix Roasters Coffee on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Doing a lot of work down in Guatemala, like we said in the last few podcasts, with mission trips and all that stuff with church and everything. So Phoenix Roasters Coffee, making a difference. Coffee that matters. Make sure you guys check out Gervais Syndrome. Like we said in podcast 11, we just did that like 2 hours ago on podcast 10. Make sure you guys check out Gervais Syndrome and Amy's service dog, Goliath. He's going to be posted on there so you guys can see him. The golden doodle that will be taking care of her as he enters the family here in the next week or two. And also my boy Jeff Reynolds running CharlotteConcertGuy.com. We, as Natural Sponge and Friends, partnered with him and CharlotteConcertGuy.com just a few days ago. So it's a pretty cool website. You get to go and check out all the concerts at one time in one spot. So it's pretty cool. And actually, he's got you linked up where you can click and go to Live Nation or go to Ticketmaster or whatever it may be. And I was talking in podcast number 10, and you can check out. I saw from Chris Brown to some chick playing and that's what you girls play, right? A viola. Some chick playing a viola or a mandolin or something by herself down in Charlotte at some dive bar. He's got you lined up for everything you want. So make sure you check out CharlotteConcertGuy.com. Hunter Spencer was a blast earlier in the night. But what we have here tonight is podcast number 11. We have two of the cutest young chicks I've ever seen in my life. One rocks the four-eyed frog faces, and the other one does not. But we got my bonus beautiful daughter, Kay Rae. What's good?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing's good.
Everything.
Everything's good. And we have the Cam Fam, hashtag Cam Fam. Cam Ronnie, Cameron Frederick. What's up, Cam? Hey. So this is going to be a fun podcast, guys. We're just chilling. They want to talk. And I told them beforehand, we're putting this on the air. So whatever happens, happens. We don't even know where this is going to go. Pretty much like the freaking Tucker Perry outtake. We didn't know where that was going. And we ended up I was laying on the floor laughing. So, Cam, we were downstairs talking just a minute ago. We got Hurricane Dorian coming. Yeah. Are you going to stay or are you going to go?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're going to stay here probably.
Yeah,
You
probably.
going to stay in the pod room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need a name for the podcast room. I don't like pod room. Mm-mm. And we can't call it the ranch because I like the ranch but that's what Steve, a.k.a. Mike Stud, calls his place, the ranch. Mm. So I need I like Devil 11. But I was 23, so I like Devil 23. Mm-hmm. But that really is more of a large place. I could hey, let's go to Devil 23. Mm-hmm. That's Devil 11 was Bobby Hurley. He played for Duke back in the day, and he had a big horse farm, and they were racehorses. And so you guys, BP, you good over there?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody in here, let's start thinking about what we're gonna name this room once we paint it, move everything around, and figure out how we're actually gonna continue rocking this podcast. I actually want to take the dogs. If anybody out there, again, Podcast Nation, you suck because no one has messaged me about the dog. I'm giving you a flipping dog. Maddie's a wonderful dog. I will give her to you. I will buy you food for 2 months. Take the dog. It barks. We can't do a podcast. You know what I mean? So let's get that taken care of. I'd like to do the podcast downstairs, so we'll figure it out. So, to everyone listening out there, we got two young girls. How old are y'all?
11.
was in unison. They should be in the chorus as opposed to, what do y'all do? The viola?
I cannot
We
sing.
are in orchestra.
Orchestra.
I don't think you want to hear either of us sing.
Oh, well, you could sing. I bet Cam Fam could sing.
No.
Kaylee can sing. She's pretty good when she tries.
Okay, well, I can't sing.
Yeah,
Just
I can't
warning
either.
you.
My dad can. I can't.
Like, it'll make your ears bleed, I promise you.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you heard me sing on the golf cart earlier. That
Yeah.
wasn't good. So, all right. So you guys are in orchestra, but we'll get to that in a little bit. You guys actually met through, and if you guys listen to National Sponge a lot, you're gonna understand that I cut shit off very quickly and go to something separate. Our guy BP is a meteorologist at heart. Like, I feel like he has some kind of godsend. Like, he knows the weather. He has now turned the TV in the pod room to what are you watching?
I don't even know.
Is it the Weather Channel? Watching the Weather Channel here. He's worried about Dorian, and I remember last summer we were over at Market Commons giving lessons, and he'd be like, Sponge, you see that rain over there? I'm like, no, I don't see the rain over there at all. And then it'd be here in 7 minutes. Literally 6 minutes and 58 seconds later, boom, rain. Pouring down rain.
That's
But-
crazy.
So you guys go to the same school. You're in intermediate school. You're 11 years old. I wonder what the youngest age is for a podcast. I wonder if we just set the record with two 11-year-olds.
I think we can do it.
I think we did.
Well, and if not, then we can put Kinley on it.
We could. That'd be a savage move too. But
Or
No,
Paisley.
she would.
yeah, Kinley and Paisley at the same time. It was sick.
Paisley would sing.
She would. I bet. Yeah. That'd be
Paisley
cool.
could sing to JoJo. See what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
DREAM. Woo. So all right. So we're in 6th grade.
Mhm.
And just for all you Nimrods out there, Kay Rae is my bonus daughter, and Cam Fam is my bonus daughter's best friend, which makes her my bonus daughter's daughter. And
No, she's
bonus
not my daughter.
bonus daughter,
No.
daughter, no S. So when did you guys meet?
We met, I think, on the first day of school in 5th grade.
Were you guys doing horse
Well, we've
lessons?
seen
together?
each other at horseback riding, and we didn't
Okay.
just
And then we
know
sat,
each other. But then we found each other that we were in the same class, and we
Yeah.
were like,
we sat
"Oh,
at
well,
the
we can be
same-
friends now."
Yay!
Yeah, we sat at the same table, and then, like, whenever we started doing lessons together, we started, like, we could finally, like, since we had lunch and recess and homeroom and science together, and social studies, like, we saw each other before and after school, like, on Mondays.
Nice.
So,
You guys do, obviously that was my next thing, is you guys are big horse riders.
Yes.
I watch you guys ride
Mhm.
horses together. I actually, I have to admit, I had a dad moment when Cam Fam fell off a horse. It was a weird day. I think I showed up late. I had baseball or something. I showed up a little later than usual, and I was on the other end.
mhm.
And then the stables, and I was on the other end,
Yeah.
and I saw her fall off, and I saw how she fell, and I saw what
Which
you were.
one? Where Topaz it way over jumped it?
No, you kind of slid off.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the girth wasn't tight.
Yeah, and I saw, and I remember like kind of freezing. Your mom was in the boot.
Yeah.
Miss Kim had the boot on,
Mhm.
and I saw you, and I kind of froze for a minute, and I was scared,
Mhm. Yeah.
but I saw how you fell,
Mhm.
and I started walking
Yeah.
out there, and of course your mom, she was hobbling at the time.
And
Miss
then
Megan kinda ran
Leela's
out.
Mom.
Yeah, and yeah, who?
Leela's mom.
Leela's mom ran out there, and I was chilling, but I saw how you fell, and I saw you were holding like this side as opposed to that side. I was like, she'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
But it had to scare you. How do you guys, like, real talk? Both of you go separately. It's fine. How do you? Because a lot of people won't do it. How do you get on a? People think I'm crazy. People think BP is crazy because we would stand in the box with a guy throwing 95, a baseball at our head. But you guys get on a 1,500-pound horse. How do you guys at 11 years old, and both of you are small and don't weigh nothing to the world, like how do you get on the horse and just do that?
Well, I feel like part of it is that you kind of can, the more that you ride it, you can kind of figure out how comfortably you can ride it. And
Right.
how much, like, what the horse feels comfortable with and what you feel comfortable with. So then you kind of can get used to what you're doing, so then it won't be, like, as different.
So what made you want to ride horses in the beginning?
I don't know. I think, like, as a kid, I, like, just, like, whenever I was, like, really little, I just always, like, liked horses. And my uncle, he has a horse, and, whenever we went to visit him, he showed me his horse, and I think, like, after that, I just was obsessed with horses. Like, I had a horse room, a bunch of horse toys.
That's dope.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know.
What about you, Kaylee?
Whenever you just become passionate in something, you just keep on wanting to continue to do it, and like if you fall off or something, you just get back on, and then the next time you come, you'll not be so scared of it.
That's cool.
And you build your connection with the horse, and then they figure out like what you
true.
like, and
So it's more about really, y'all are just animal lovers.
Yeah.
And it's just another thing. And through a bunch of stuff, obviously everybody, like we always say on Natural Sponge and Friends, you guys out there, everybody goes through a lot of stuff in their life, and you never know what somebody's going through. Cam Fam, you're going through stuff that's different than Kaylee. Kaylee's going through stuff that's different than BP. BP's going through, everybody's got their different stuff. And you're very in tune with energies and the rocks and all that stuff.
and essential oils.
Yeah, essential oils, all that stuff. So what do you feel like, you already said it, but I'm trying to get more out of you. What do you feel like is the biggest thing when you're, not the rocks yet and all that stuff, but what do you feel like is the biggest thing when you guys ride horses? Is it more about being around the animals, or is it more about the relaxation and the energy that it gives you to be at peace with yourself and all that weird stuff that people think is crazy?
I feel like it's more like the energy and the connection that you have with the horse. Because if you don't really have a connection, there's not a point of just riding a horse. Like, if you just get on a horse and you don't know what it likes, what it doesn't like, then it's probably not gonna, like, feel a connection. But if you understand what both of the horse and the rider feels comfortable with, then once you have a connection, you can almost ride better. You can focus better and be more relaxed, and you can have just a better energy.
Do you feel like you get that same stuff, or that same energy in you, just from tacking up the horse and group? So like tonight, you guys, we did the podcast earlier, and you guys, you went over there, right? So all you guys went over. All the girls in the house went over to the horse farm. Shout out to Hart Ranch, back behind St. James High School. Make sure you guys check them out, do lessons, do all kinds of stuff with Special Olympics and everything. It's a great organization, great place. So do you, like tonight, just going over there, you didn't get on a horse, you didn't brush a horse, you just went and saw horses. What did you feel?
Like whenever you touch a horse or you're like close to a horse, I think it's like some mile radius, your heart gets regulated to the horse.
Right, and if they see that if they feel that you're kind of off,
they'll be,
they kind of get off, right?
Yes, if you're off, then they're like, "What's wrong?" Like, and they're totally off. But then if you're if you're having a good day and you're thinking positive and everything, then they'll be like fine and they'll be good for you.
It's like almost they can like sense how you feel, like just the energy between.
Right, and they're
So,
calming and just.
Today, it's been a while since I've gone to Hart Ranch, and seeing Ginger, whenever we brushed her, I just felt so relaxed.
The motion of the brush regulates you.
And just
That's
almost just touching her. You just feel that calm energy.
Hands on.
You almost feel safe. Like, I can't explain it, but it's just cool. I don't know.
That's like me and we talking about Amy getting her service dog Goliath. That's kind of like Griffey, man. Like, to me, you know what I mean? And like last night, McKinley was having, going through some stuff, and Griffey just laid on top of her, for 15 minutes, like literally laid on top of her. The G-Man, yet again, we said it in podcast number 10, Griffey Allen, is the boss man dog on top of our Facebook page in the cover photo. So we need to, BP, make sure, BP, write a note.
Okay.
Write a note for me, and let's make sure we put a note down to put, we're going to make a Griffey Allen Twitter page. Just for Griff. Like his adventures of life. Which are going to include peeing on the laundry basket.
Palm tree.
Peeing on the palm tree, peeing on the laundry basket, laying on the baseball turf outside.
Marking his spot.
And laying on top of people. But he's a G, man. So that's pretty cool, though, that you guys at 11 years old have learned about energies and all this stuff and riding horses. Who's your favorite horse over there that you've ridden? Cam Fam?
I'd probably say Topaz.
Topaz is cool. Rachel is Topaz owner, right? And so she's let you guys ride her a lot. She don't get to ride her as much and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. Is that who you started out on, Kaylee?
I started off on a horse named Bucky, and he is now retired.
Sweet. So you were in Ohio. Let's go to Kaylee real quick. So we were in Ohio, and you met a girl named Bethany.
Mm-hmm.
And well, let's tell this how this happened.
I needed some horse time, and my mama lives by them, and I was like, oh, I wonder if she'd let me go pet her horses. And so we walked out there, and we were petting her horses.
Let's slow down though. She didn't want to stop, and Spun stopped, made her stop and get out because she thought we were going to get shot because she didn't know the people. So we stop and go up to the horses or to the fence, and the horses came down to us, right? So eventually you end up meeting the owners of the horse, and next time you go up, you're going to ride with her, right? You're going on horse trails and ride trails and whatever you call it, right?
Mm-hmm. And so then she coming to feed the horses, and we exchanged numbers and all. And then we went to a place called Roll King the next day, and we got brushes, and we went back and brushed the horses.
Rue Hall, baby. No, Roll King's in Ohio, but that's cool. How odd did you think, Kaylee, when we were downstairs with Hunter, that he actually goes hunting in Gallipolis, right in Ohio? That's where everything goes down when we go up there.
I thought it was pretty cool, but kind of odd at the same time, because I didn't know I knew people hunted around there, but I didn't know they hunted in Gallipolis, Ohio.
Small world. Cam Fam, you ever been hunting?
No, I don't think so.
With this savage answer, I don't think so. So, all right. So we got the horses down. You guys love riding horses. You got your horse room. One big thing I have to ask Cam Fam before we continue forward is you, like I said, a lover of animals.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm never going to own a snake. I'm never going to own a spider. I promise you that one. I would own a snake I would shoot myself if I owned a spider. But you have some very interesting animals at your house, and you're now going to become like Cam the Lizard Girl or Cam Fam Lizard World or something on Twitter and Instagram, all this. After this episode's released, you're gonna become somebody big. What kind of weird animals do you have in your room?
Well, first of all, I'm really weird because I have a leopard gecko and a bearded dragon, but I don't like tarantulas and snakes.
Very good.
But I have a leopard gecko and a bearded dragon. I'm just weird about snakes and stuff.
So do you? Yeah, that completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different. Do you like the leopard gecko? Her name is Minnie,
mm-hmm.
and the other one is Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And so leopard gecko and the who? Bearded dragon.
Yeah.
So you've had the leopard gecko. How old is she?
She's 3.
She's 3. How long you had her?
I've had her since 3 years ago. I got her in November.
So you got her like when she was like first born?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, sweet. And then your bearded dragon, that's more recent.
Oh yeah, I got him in December, and he was like as long as my thumb. He was tiny. So he's getting much bigger now. He grew really quick.
So they obviously cannot live together in the same habitat.
No, I mean they're somewhere they might be together, like on some internet or anything. I don't know. But I just don't feel comfortable putting like two different species, like I guess you'd call them.
I'd be afraid one would eat the other.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that
Just
psycho fish downstairs.
Yeah, they ate all the other
Yes, it's crazy. My wife had a saltwater fish tank, and she was always told forever by a guy that she couldn't do it, and then she did it, and I was pumped for her. She was excited. She loved it, and then we had somehow one psycho fish from the depths of hell came up and ate all the other fish, and then it went to trash for 6 months, and we let it get all gross and stuff, and then we ended up getting some other fish and redoing the water and got it back going. So we got 4 fish? BP, how many we got? 4 last time?
3.
4, and there's
4.
3 still alive.
No,
Yeah.
we got 3.
3?
We got 4, but then one died.
Yeah, so we got 3. 3 are still alive in there with the crabs and the snails and all that. So she's got it going on. So you don't know what's going to happen. You don't want somebody to eat the other one. I've seen people, crazy ladies. There's a crazy lady down off the road over here.
Mm-hmm.
She's always out every day at the little creek thing that like messing with turtles.
Yeah, she feeds turtles.
Yeah, she feeds the turtles every day. I've seen people walk cats. I've seen people walk ferrets. I've seen people walk guinea pigs. What the heck do you do with the leopard gecko? Do you walk him? Do you play with him in your bed? Do you hold him? Like what? How is this an entertaining animal to you?
Well, I don't walk my leopard gecko or bearded dragon, and I don't like lay with it or anything, or not. I don't like lay with it in the bed or anything, or like. But I do bring her out a lot because it's good for them to get out and just walk around, like other than a cage.
Right.
So every other day, I let her just walk around, kind of on my hand and stuff.
What do you feed her?
She eats crickets and mealworms, waxworms, all kind of worms.
So what do you feed the bearded dragon?
Well, bearded dragons eat vegetables, fruit, and insects.
Oh, really?
So Buddy eats crickets.
Buddy. My dude Buddy, he eats crickets and fruit. And
Yeah,
I had a guy like that in college. I used to call him Buddy, too. He ate a lot worse than that, though.
He eats, like, shredded carrots, like those tiny little shredded carrots.
Yeah.
He eats strawberries, blueberries.
That's pretty cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
So do you spend as much, do you spend much time with, which one do you spend more time with?
I try to spend an equal amount of time because I don't want, to one have more attention than the other. But
Do you think they know that, though?
No, but I don't know why I think that way, but I just think it's
you're an animal
better
lover.
for them to think, not to think, but to have the same amount of exercise,
Right.
I guess you could say.
That's pretty cool.
Because it's just better for them.
Have either of them ever been outside with you?
No.
Nah.
Well, they have been, I think they've been on my screened-in porch.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So,
Just for like a second, though.
and I know Kaylee was in love with the bearded dragon and the leopard gecko and all that, but we ended up going a different way. And I have to say, I don't think I've said this I think I did maybe podcast number 1, I'm not sure. But I have to say that Sponge is very aware everywhere I go. Don't mess with me if you try. I got you. I know what everybody's doing at all times. However, my girls in the house were able to get one over on me for a while, and my wife comes to me and said, McKinley's fish died. I said, oh, that sucks. I thought she had, the fish in the saltwater tank, right?
No, but it was a beta fish.
No. Apparently, a fish lived in our house for 6 months, dude. And I think it was 6 weeks, though, or something like that. But it felt like 6 months when you hear the story. But apparently, we had a fish that I never knew about that came in the house, lived and died without me knowing it. And but besides that, we ended up getting a hamster. Okay, and this was a long time ago, and Kaylee had a hamster. But then Fam comes along, getting all these bearded dragons and leopard geckos and spot tail roosters and all this stuff. And no, you don't have a spot tail rooster.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Well, I know what a rooster is, but not what a spot tail rooster.
But Kaylee ends up wanting, and of course she gets a guinea pig. And this thing comes home, and of course, the avid beer drinker that Sponge is, many koozies laying around. And in my Blue Devil koozie for game days, come see us in October. And Duke had, hey, you saw it. Duke had on tight to Alabama today. I don't care if they lost 42-3. They were there. It was close.
They did pretty good.
They did. Thank you. There you go. But no, real talk. They had this little cute little furry thing in a koozie, and now this thing is the size of like one of my shoes. Kaylee, you have a guinea pig named Robert Taco California.
No, FYI, his name is Taco.
Robert Taco California.
Taco.
This is on Apple Podcast too, so it is to the world knows this guy is Robert Taco California. Robert California from The Office, but we call him Taco for short.
I do have a question, Kaylee. Why did you name him Taco? Was there a certain reason, or did it just pop in your head?
For a while I couldn't think of a name to name him, and I know that's kind of like mean, but you know. So I just came up with Taco. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a co-host on this Natural Sponge and Friends podcast now with Cam Fam. She was like, I got a question. And she just moves the mic. That was beautiful right there. I love that.
Thank you.
Savage. So like, why did you want a rodent?
Well, I had 2 guinea pigs before, but for some reason they were much harder to take care of. And my mom asked me one day, she was like, I think McKinley needs a pet to take care of to learn some responsibility. And I was like, okay, well, she can ask Snowflake and I can get a new pet. And she was like, oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And I was like, okay, so then I get a guinea pig?
And Snowflake is the hamster that we had.
Yeah, we still have her.
Yeah, she is. She's chill. Low maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where was I?
Where was I?
You're talking about how
you want a pet. You want a guinea pig.
Oh, yeah.
Your
okay.
mom said.
And so then, like, 2 weeks later, I started researching, like, how to take care of guinea pigs. What do they need? Like, what type of food and everything like that. And how big the cage is. And so then, like, probably a month later, Mom was, like, still thinking about it. And I don't think Sponge knows this part, but...
Probably don't.
And so then we went to... My mom, like, surprised me with she ordered a cage off Chewy. And,
I didn't know that.
And, she had it at home, and she was like, if you can put it together, we can go get your guinea pig. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was reading the directions, and I was like, these directions really don't help. So I just put it together.
And it's just there.
And it's just there.
But I am pumped that you guys end up getting a guinea pig like Taco, a.k.a. Robert California.
No.
And not like the ones that had the red eyes and all that stuff. Because I don't want no lab rat. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen those. Some of them are white with red eyes.
Yeah, that's the ones. They said there was 2 of those and one like Taco.
Yeah, Taco
was the smallest one.
He's very cute, though. He does not have red eyes, thankfully.
He used to be able to fit in the Duke koozie.
Right, and now he's enormous.
Yeah. I think he's a little overweight, but he's happy, so. My
wife used to have a dog named Chili. Rest in peace, homeboy. He died at like 6 months. He had like some kind of heart attack or something. It was crazy, a little small dog. He was a G, though. And this guinea pig is bigger than him in 6 months than Chili was in 6 months, for sure. But to continue forward, we got, you guys are both in 6th grade. You're going through a lot of stuff, the age, girl stuff. You're going through everything that, just... You got the Visco girl stuff. You have the furry stuff. You have emos. You have
We have a lot.
Yeah, it's and real talk, and that is part of Natural Sponge and Friends. And people like BP was like, yeah, don't have them on a podcast, dude. I'm like, no, I'm putting this out. This is dope because you never know who will hear something that will help change their lives. And I'm gonna start with Cam. You got kids these days that Kaylee tells me all the time. You got bully box and all this stuff, and people bully everybody. And literally, when I grew up, if somebody tried to bully me, I'm gonna put your head in a locker and I'm gonna knock you out.
I was expecting you.
Right, let's go. Yeah, and you ready? And so, like, what would you say to 11-year-old girls out in California if they ever heard this? What do you? If they're getting bullied, if they're not, because you and Kaylee are not labels. People, I'm clear. I refer to myself as clear. I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm obviously I'm Caucasian to everyone out there. You see my picture on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, but I don't act a certain way. I'll never forget. I told my wife one time I went to school one day and I had grills in. FYI to all you guys out there, they did not know that. I had bottoms. I had a white T-shirt on. I had red basketball wind pants for the day, and I had no socks. And actually, at the time, because nobody messed with me, I got to be strapped up now. But I was wearing Hollister flip flops. That was like my thing to school that day. I went like thug. Maybe thug or country, whatever you consider a white T-shirt, athletic, and then surfer dude. I don't know. It was just me.
Kind of mixed.
It's whatever. I'm clear. It's all good. But because you got Visco Girl, you got furry, you got all this stuff. What do you guys just pretty much do whatever you do? We're in a time, and you guys live in a place down here. This will be heavy for people that listen to this. This is gonna be good, especially people here. I like this. You live in a place here where people expect you to be something that maybe you're not, and you're pressured into doing that. What do you say to kids out there your age, younger than you, older than you, whatever it may be, that is like they feel pressured from something, or they're bullied, or whatever it is? How do you, Fam, continue to be yourself day in and day out?
I just I can either deal with it right then and just ignore it. I just keep it out of my way until I deal with it, and I worry about it a different time. And just try not to let it affect you at all, because who cares? I mean, nobody's going to tell you, stop doing this. I mean, they're not going to make you stop. They can't do anything to make you stop being who you are, They can say something, but that can't always make you change your mind.
Right, so whatever words don't affect you. You're just, whatever, I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah.
Do things, like say something at school, does that ever, does that weigh on you at all though? Like if somebody says something about the way you're dressed or what you're wearing or make fun of you, does that, obviously you're young and you're 11 years old, it's going to hurt your feelings, but does it stay with you and you're able to get over it after, or you just kind of like, screw you, whatever?
I know that I can put it behind me, but I know that it's going to be back there until I deal with it. Like, if I don't do something about it, I know it's just going to be back somewhere in my mind. It's going to keep coming back if something brings it back.
Right. So you got an 11-year-old girl in Utah, and she is now intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, when you say deal with it, how do you deal with it and move forward?
I kind of just put it to the side and I focus what I'm dealing with. So, like, if I have to deal with, like, schoolwork, I just have to focus on that, and I'll just have to find the time. I'll just have to push all that stress away till I can find the time to deal with it. So if I'm, like, in school and somebody says this to me, I'm like, I don't deal with it right then. I have to focus, I have to finish the day, and I have to find the time to deal with it.
How do you deal with it when you have the time to deal with it?
Normally, probably, in the morning. Like, if I go to school and I'm not all the way waking up, but, I'm getting there.
Right.
And I can either just say something back to them.
Okay.
it kind of depends on the case.
So you're kind of controlled in your idea of what you're going to say back to them, or
Yeah. So if it's like not that big of a deal, I'll probably just talk back to them, and just
Yeah.
whatever, and then I'll just be like whatever.
And you have a big sister too. Do you ever
Yeah.
you ever like
Oh, yeah.
express feelings to her?
Yeah.
Right. Obviously,
So-
shouts to live. Shouts to live.
Yeah.
So what about you? What about you, Kay Rae? How do you go through the day? Because you're going into school this year, and I think this is fascinating too, especially because kids out there need to hear stuff like this as well. I know that you were very hesitant on wanting to get your glasses because you thought people would make fun of you, and I think the only person that said a word that I know of so far is Mr. Satterley, and that was at your
Open house.
right? And he was like, "Would you go blind over the summer?" And he's a guy. He's like me. He can get away with that because he's just messing with you and talking to you. But the thing is, that shows how great of a teacher and person he is. That he was able.
That he realized
He
that
realized
I actually
that you
got
had the glasses, unlike some other people in the world. But I think that's phenomenal for him to be able to have that relationship with you as well. But nobody's ever said a word about your glasses this year.
No.
And you were worried about them, and now you're rocking them things. You look beautiful in them. We're gonna post a shot of Kay Rae and Cam Fam later tonight. We're gonna post it. We're gonna take a pic right now on air. No, I'm not gonna post it right now, but we're just gonna take a random picture. Okay, Kaylee's wrapped up in her blanket. Go ahead. There we go. 3, 2, 1. There. Oh, that's great. That's phenomenal. There's our first female podcast guest right there. We had to get the young ones in before the mature ones came in because Megan would kill me. I'm kidding. But how do you deal with because I haven't heard so much this year. It seems like Cam Fam, Kaylee, BP, McKinley, Paisley seems like everything's going phenomenal at school, which is awesome. But in the past, like you've had people mess with you in some way, and talk junk like kids do. Like how at 11 years old, people take that to heart, and we're at a time where bullying is a huge issue, and feelings are a big issue. Like how do you get through every day? Now separate that from other crap, right? But like what how do you keep going?
Well, most of the time, if I have something wrong, I'll like tell Cameron, or I don't know. I just kind of keep it really to myself, and I don't tell anyone. But then I kind of get down, kind of. I get down.
Or.
I get down, and then my mom's like, "What's wrong?" And then I'm like, "I'm fine. Nothing's wrong."
No,
I'm
you've
fine."
never done that.
No. But yeah, that's kind of what I do, and it's bad, so don't take any advice from me.
Oh wow, she's better. But I mean, you can take advice
Cameron's
from her
better.
because I think that's savage though, because you got you right there. Number one, talk to your friends.
Mhm.
Number two, if you got something to say something to somebody and tell them shut the hell up. What you got, Cam Fam?
Well, I just want to say, if
Oh,
anybody,
she got sassy mood right now. She
Okay.
ready.
I just want to say, if anybody would hurt Kaylee's feelings, then they're probably going to get their feelings hurt by me. Because if they do something to her, that personally just makes me I don't know.
Right. So that's it. So you need to find a relationship. You need to find a friend like Kaylee and Cam Fam have, right there, because that is the definition of keep going. When you got somebody that'll take up for you, and have your back no matter what, that's the definition of keep going right there. And I think what.
Because sometimes it's harder to talk to your mom than it is to your friends.
Oh, for sure.
And because they, like, know what you're going through, and they're, like, in the same age, but your mom's like, yeah, you're fine, and they're, like, more, like, worried about you than your friends are. They're, like...
Your friend's ready to scrap.
Friends are more understandable,
Yes.
you could say.
Right, because they're dealing with you.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
kind of going through it with you.
Right. And do you feel like you could talk to, like, a teacher?
Mm-mm.
So, no? So it's pretty much your friends.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel comfortable talking to a teacher. most of the time, if I tell somebody what's wrong, it's either going to be like Kaylee or my sister. Because sometimes it's just weird to tell your parents because it's just like a different. They
You
understand.
feel the vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Yeah, the vibe's
vibe up.
different.
It is. It is. That's awesome. Because at the end of the day, that is like what just happened right here in the last 10 minutes is exactly what I wanted Natural Sponge and Friends to be. What?
It's only been 10 minutes.
No. It's 40 something now. But like the last 10 minutes that happened talking about that is exactly what I wanted Natural Sponge and Friends to be because it literally helping each other, being able to find a way that avenue.
Lean on me.
Lean on me. That's what Mr. Sadlerly said.
Yes.
Right? That's his song.
That's his
When you
song.
need a friend, lean on me.
That's like his theme for the classroom.
Right. So, I mean, like when you guys, anybody out there, we always say keep going, keep going, keep going. But if you don't know how to keep going, then we're kind of lost and we're sitting in like limbo and not understanding what to do. So make sure that we're able to lean on our friends and have good friends. I always leaned on Bubba growing up. Bubba was my boy. Every time we had any trouble and I needed somebody to talk to, Bubba and Dusty Joyce, my boy Dusty, we were always there together. So that's awesome that you guys have each other. Going forward, and this is very difficult to ask at a young age, but I know Kaylee has an answer, so I'm going to start with her first. When you are growing up, getting older, you already have a little plan. What do you want to go to college to major in? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I really want to be a nurse because I love to help people.
She likes wiping butts.
I do not like doing that. But I love to help people and, like, I like helping people more than I like helping myself, and that's, like, a big problem for me.
That's very true. I live with her, so I see that every day. She's 11 years old, and she's number one, going to be a great mother, and number two, she got her stuff together. She understands what she's wanting to do, and she's trying to figure out her way, just like everybody else. So you want to be a nurse, all right? So nothing with horses, or what do you want to do something with horses, though, or what?
I want to be a nurse, but then have my house with a bunch of horses.
There you go.
Yep.
With Mr. Watermelon.
Yep.
I tell you something, Mr. Watermelon, you mess with him, I'll get you. You ain't about it. So Cam Fam, you growing up, you guys are, in real talk, you guys got 7th, 8th, got 6 years, 6 more in schools, 6 more years of school left. That's it. And then you're going off to college. Oh wait, go back to Kayla real quick. Where do you want to go to college at?
I want to go to a college that has horses,
Uh-huh.
and that is a nursing school. But then half of your day is horses, and then half of your day is nursing.
Where's that at? You've already found it. You remember the name?
It's not St. Mary's of the Woods because we found a better one than that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name is.
Otterbein.
Yeah.
Where is
Otterbein University. I think in Kentucky.
Yeah,
Is that where it is?
yeah.
Otterbein. I don't know. Somebody out there Google Otterbein for us. But Otterbein, I think it's Otterbein. They got you have a dual degree in nursing and equestrian, right? So nursing and equestrian, you got like a dual degree or something. It's pretty sick. So that's cool. That'd be amazing for you to do. You can actually take your own horse there, and keep it in the stable and then ride and do your stuff there with horses and veterinary stuff, and then do your nursing stuff. And it's a pretty neat little place. So, so Kaylee's going to Otterbein or St. Mary's of the Wood College, where I will be the golf coach one day. Probably not. But Cam Fam, what do you want to do? I've never even heard this one. I want to ask.
Well, the reason why you probably haven't heard it is because, honestly,
I don't know.
I have no clue. But I do know one thing. I do want to do something to do with, like, doctoring or something like in a hospital or veterinary, something like that. I don't know.
You want to work on something.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that? Are y'all cool with that Dr. Pole crap? Like the
Yeah,
stuff that's
yeah.
on my TV downstairs all the time?
Yeah, whenever you freaked out earlier because
Yes.
gave birth to a
Guys,
daughter.
listen. Hunter Spencer's leaving he's down there with Cece and the kids. Bree, shouts to Bree, little girl that they're babysitting. And we're talking Ohio stuff, we're talking hunting, we're talking baseball, and all of a sudden on TV I see a lady put chains around these 2 things hanging out of a cow's butt.
Around legs.
And it was legs, apparently, I found out later.
Legs.
And she yanks it out, and there's a face of a cow come out that's wrapped in, it looks like it's wrapped in plastic. I lost my gourd. I thought I was going to throw up. That's absurd.
Honestly, I thought you were gonna pass out.
I turned white, didn't I? I turned green.
Yes, you turned very pale.
I was sweating. Like, I don't like that. That's
Miss Megan was just like,
laughing at me.
yeah, she was laughing at you, and then you were like, "What is that thing around it?" And as you call it, the plastic.
Yes.
The balloon.
She
Right.
said the balloon or the egg yolk. I think
Something
that's what she
kind
called
of,
it,
yeah.
something like that. And
Ugh.
it's all thing. It's
Disgusting.
like, I don't know. It's in that little bubble, I guess. But like, does it like pop?
I don't know.
Like, how do you get it out of there?
It's like, I don't know.
You have to cut it open.
Hurricane Dorian.
Oh, Hurricane Dorian, back on
Uh-oh.
TV.
Uh-oh.
150 mile an hour winds, Category
Whoa.
4.
Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. 150 mile an hour winds, and it says Dorian still poses deadly threat for Florida. You think? Yeah, for sure.
It's already had
Look-
damage on Florida.
Look out. All right, so you don't know what you want to do. Something in Doctor's World or something like that.
Something like
Are you good at math?
that. No.
English?
Yeah.
You are good at English?
Mhm.
I thought you could be a writer. You're very artsy. You could be more artsy than you think.
Yeah.
I think so.
But writing's so boring to me.
Well, it's the story. I think once it gets done is the
Yeah.
point you're trying to get to.
But I feel like it'd be cool to do something with horses.
It would be cool. So,
I don't know.
with the energies and talking like that, leading in, I'm getting good at my lead-in stories. So we now have at Natural Sponge's house, right outside this podcast room, looking out this window right now, and right outside there is our backyard. And two of the last three, I think Kaylee was sick on the last one or something. 2 of the last 3 full moons, we have recharged our energy rocks. No, not tonight. But we have recharged our energy rocks, and we have been very, very learning and embracing of the energy of the rocks. Kaylee.
Yeah.
Please explain this flipping rock stuff to these people, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were full of crap, and I go out after the first one. It was a full moon. You're supposed to take your rocks out, your minerals out, and all that stuff. What name? What is it called? Amethyst. Crystals.
You like your salt rock.
Salt. I love my salt rock, actually. Himalayan salt rock. Quartz. Right. So all those, you take them out during a full moon, put them on wood or something, and they recharge. Well, literally, I had become fond of this little Himalayan salt rock that I kept with me. And so Megan asked me and said, "Do you have your rock?" And Kay was like, "Sponge, where's your rock?" So for some reason, I put it in my mouth. Not in my mouth, but I would like
It
lick
regulates your blood pressure.
Yeah, right. And so I take it outside, and I go out the next morning to get it, and I thought you were full of crap. But I go out there, and everything's super shiny,
There's salt laying all over
and there's salt everywhere. And when I licked it the next time, the son of a
It
gun,
was saltier.
whoa, boy, it was like drinking a bottle of salt. How does that work? Please explain somehow to anybody what you know. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what do you know? How the heck does this work?
Okay, by the way, the next full moon is September 14th.
Yeah.
Make sure you charge your rocks if you have them.
Charge them all, baby.
Okay, so it works
You
like
ready?
if, like, I hold on to rocks like when I get nervous, or I take them to school sometimes, like when I'm having a bad day or something. And if you put them under the moon, somehow, some way, I don't know,
Nature.
Nature
Vibes.
finds a way
it
to vibe up.
and it like gets all the bad spirits out of your rock, and like so it's like starting a new beginning in the chapter.
That's pretty cool.
So kind of
Yeah.
like refreshing everything.
You got rocks?
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Oh,
No,
goodness, that's
Sponge.
absurd.
It's on
That's
there.
crazy. On where?
Sponge.
It's right there.
Oh my. Wow.
So, did you charge your rocks, Cam?
No, I actually haven't ever done that before.
You need to.
Yeah, I need to do that next
It's a
full
full
moon.
harvest moon.
So we gotta give a shout out to Liv. That's Cam Fam's oldest sister. She just gave a big eye roll. So a lot of people see. I'm an only child. Ethan Lester, only child. Tucker Perry, I thought he was an only child, but apparently he has a brother that's like 9 months older than him. I never knew about until the podcast. But Kaylee's got little sister, big brother, middle child. Cam Fam, what's it like with and your dad's a big time policeman, and then your mom works in the court systems as well. What's it like with you and they're obviously they're probably both very busy with work and all that stuff. Do you and Liv lean on each other a lot, or are you guys kind of lean on each other when you have to? And what's it like having that older sister kind of role model, even though you're gonna roll your eyes, kind of still like you're learning a lot of stuff from what she does. See,
Yeah,
that you're
she's
lucky
like-
because you can learn from her mistakes.
Yeah,
So
I learned from her mistakes. Just from, one time she lost a lot of time off of her phone from doing something, and I just like, whew, I better not do that. It's like almost walking in her old footsteps, like going through what I should not do, what I should do, you know.
right.
So it's kind of like, it's very helpful because we both do lean on each other no matter what, even though we do fight over the dumbest stuff. Like, even if I take her bracelet, then she'll yell at me. If I use her water bottle, you know, we fight over the dumbest things. But I know that we always will lean on each other no matter what. And it's always good to have her there because you can almost walk through her own footsteps, and sometimes it's better to just have that older influence because it's kind of cool because like she hangs out with like a bunch of cool people, so I just kind of like just sit there and just watch her, so it's kind of fun.
Right, and you see what you should and should not do. And, and that helps you with just you in life, and you can help Kaylee, and you can help your friends, and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds like she's high.
Oh no, Cam Fam, she is a podcast perfection at this point.
Thanks.
Not I.
Oh, you're good. So we're gonna close this off here in just a few minutes. Going into next week, we don't know if you guys will be in school or not. We got Hurricane Dorian coming down, bearing down on the East Coast.
I hope we have to go to school because I really do not feel like making up any days.
Right, I used to love that, but see, things have changed a lot because I used to love like snow days because I think the most we ever made up when I was growing up was like 2 days.
Does anyone not think that it's like a natural disaster and it's not our fault that the hurricane's coming?
This is what I don't get, is that the school doesn't get, like, I understand why they want to make makeup days because, you know, got to do all the work.
You have to go a certain amount of days.
Dumb stuff, you know, school. But it's not our problem that there's a big hurricane coming right for us.
Right.
It's not like we can like push it away. So, I mean, I wish we could. That would be nice. But it's also whenever like we had hurricane days, I was like, yes, I mean 3 days off. But what sucks is that we have to make them back up. So it's so annoying.
And I think that's the biggest thing, especially with when as you grow up, you see that as you get older, you're like, all right, this sucks because I have to go back and make up those days. But you know, when you're younger, what was that? When you're younger, you have to, you know, I don't know, as you get older, school becomes more difficult. I think it's not about the school work. I feel like that gets easier, obviously, because you become more intelligent, you get smarter. But I think the hard part is you're learning how to use your time and what you want to do with your time.
You're using your time wisely.
There you go. And you're setting yourself up to use it to the best of your ability. But the school systems don't find it and don't care about the best of your ability. They find it the best of what they have to do with their ability.
Yeah.
That's all they care about is their money and what they get.
And like during testing, they're always like, come on, you can do it. Only because they probably just want to have like a high score. Because I know that they're not just saying that to say. I know that there's something behind there.
Right.
Like maybe they want to get the highest like school map score. You know.
I told you these girls are smart on
The
here.
highest
They know what's
average.
going on in the world.
And so they're always like, "Come on, you can do it." And they're always back there, just doing their best to try to get us to do
Just
so
a
much
little bit
better
more?
than we normally would.
Right.
Because all they want are just those numbers to get so much higher than everybody else. I know it.
I told you they were smart. Cam Fam got it going on. So, Kaylee Rae, you ever gonna play softball again? Sports? You just gonna ride horses? That's cool either way.
I like to play basketball.
Okay. Trying to hoop? You gonna hoop this winter?
Yes.
Oh yeah. She wear that number 3 for Grayson. Grayson, we're gonna shut you up. No.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Cam Fam, you play sports? What have you done growing up?
Whenever I was little, I did soccer, and I think that was it. I think I did soccer, and then I did a running thing at school.
And Liv plays tennis.
She did, and I think she did softball when she was a little younger than me. She did softball for like a few months, and then
She was like, nah.
she was like, not my thing.
Yeah.
And then now she's on the high school tennis team, and she's working her way up to the
Gotcha.
top.
So, we're going to close this off here. Kaylee Rae. She's headbanging over there, a Motorhead or something. What is your, like enlighten us here. What's your favorite thing to do? You're 11 years old. You got dogs, you got guinea pigs, you got family, you got like, what does Kaylee Rae, you got art. What does Kaylee Rae like to do when a kid somewhere your age is going through a tough time and they are sitting there and they have nothing to do? What do you like to do? What is your favorite thing to do?
I love to listen to music.
Posty.
And to be around horses and friends and family. And yeah.
So just dive in with your family.
Yeah,
Just
and
do
your
your
friends
thing.
and your family.
Do you think it's cliche, or do you think it's legit, like when people say follow your heart? Has your heart ever failed you in something you decided to do?
I don't know.
No? You don't know?
No.
I'm saying, like, if people were like, why do you ride horses? Well, your heart's telling you to ride horses. That's what I mean. Is there...
Like, are you passionate about, like, what is your, like, mind, like, I guess, like, your energy connects from your heart to your mind, so it's kind of telling you how you feel personally, I guess. So, like, if you're really passionate about horseback riding, you'd probably be, like, you feel more relaxed around horses. You feel like you can be yourself around horses.
Mm-hmm.
Spot on.
Like,
So-
the best day would be with my family around horses listening to music.
In Ohio.
Boom.
In Ohio.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Spot on. Smash. Cam Fam.
But, I mean, it would be better if I was in Ohio, too.
So there you go. What is your to kids out there in middle school across the world, like going through a lot, and I don't know what I find no joy in anything. Where does Cam Fam find her joy? Where does she find her love for life? Because Cam Fam is a joyous human being.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So normally, like, if I'm like really stressed out, I just want to stop and I need to focus on something that'll calm me down. So if I'm like really stressed out about like school or just anything, then I would probably just do my best to focus on the positive side. And even though it's like
Vibe up.
yeah, even though it's like really hard to sometimes, you just gotta do it. And like there's a time to be certain things. Like you can be sad sometimes, you can be mad sometimes, and you can be happy like anytime. You just have to find like how you feel personally. And like you can't like hold it in. You have to let it out. Because it's just unhealthy for you to hold in all of those things. because then you stress even more.
Love it.
So the real question is, what is yours, Sponge?
Yeah,
mine?
natural sponge.
Mine is listen to a podcast, Mike Stud, meditating, chilling out, drinking the cold brewski.
So no family in the picture, huh?
And all the family. All the family everywhere.
That's mine too. Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry, family.
Sorry, family. Love you.
That's awesome.
Love you so much. So sorry. Please don't do anything.
Forgive her.
Forgive me as well. See, me and Cam Fam, we know how to separate ourselves, to let ourselves grow.
I'm my own person.
You got it. Thank you, girls, so much for being on. We have somehow, in this beautiful podcast, reached over an hour. We got this thing going on. We're podcasting up here in the pod room. Hurricane Dorian is creeping down on the East Coast.
It's creeping up to us slowly but surely.
Better watch out. It's coming to get you.
Better watch out.
It's coming.
Better watch
Talked to Coach
out.
Taylor earlier. He told me that. He said, I think it's going to mess you up more than it is me. And he gave me he said, love you, buddy. And I was like, he says that often. But I was like, love you too, Coach. But F you, man. I feel like, what is that, like a goodbye? Like you think I'm going to get smoked?
Are you
You're
going
gonna
to
die.
die?
Like, love you, buddy. See ya.
But Sponge, what
Yeah.
do you think Hurricane is going to do?
I absolutely have no idea. I think that we are going to
Get smashed like Florida.
we're going to know what
No.
happens like on Wednesday, and everybody stares at the TV for so long, and they go buy a bunch of crap they don't need with water and all that stuff.
And gas and...
Yeah, I
Of course.
need to make sure I run to the beer store a few times, get everything we need there, in case we do get washed in a little bit. And nobody, it's not that I can't get out; it's more the fact that the beer stores might be closed. So
It's all about the beer stores.
You
isn't
never
it,
know.
Sponge?
But we'll make sure. What you got?
I think it's gonna come up to South Carolina and just sit on top of us.
Kind of
Just
like
smash
what
us.
Matthew did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when Griff was a pup, dude. We were with the Marlowe. Shout out to the Marlowe family for having me and Griff over during the hurricane. Your mom's car got smashed. Then remember that tree
Yeah.
fell on there. Oh man,
Oh my.
tough. Tree fell on
Do
the.
you think we'll go to school at all this week?
I do not. I
Mm.
don't because everybody's so.
Freaking out.
Yes, everybody's like very proactive when it comes to stuff like this, but reactive when it comes to like kids dying.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a hard statement, but everybody's very like, oh well, the hurricane might. Well, no, everybody's out of school. Well, there's a shooter on campus. Well, let's see what he does.
Oh my.
Like, it's stupid. I don't know. You never know. But thank you, girls, for coming on. Kay Rae is now holding a naked baby doll in her hands.
I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to dress it.
Oh, she's gonna dress it. So,
Oh,
But-
Kaylee.
gotta give a shout out to Diamond Wizards Baseball as always. They power
Why did you
Natural
say
Sponge and
that?
Friends podcast. Shout out to Gervais Syndrome. We will post a photo of Goliath tonight, the new service dog for Miss Gervais Warrior Amy. And also, we have to make sure we shout out our newest partner, CharlotteConcertGuide.com. Go on there for all your concert needs in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know you people in Charlotte listen to this, so make sure you guys check in and check often to CharlotteConcertGuide.com. If you guys have any questions and you email them or get in contact with them and they do not answer you, make sure you call Sponge directly at 843-957-9527. And also check us out at naturalsponge23 at gmail.com, at naturalsponge23 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are growing. We are pumped. We're going to be on Libsyn next week. And that means we will be on all of the major podcasting platforms. And when I say that, we're going to click this button right here on this big old screen, and we will tell you exactly. We will be on Google Podcasts. We will be on Apple Podcasts. We'll be
Spotify.
on something called RP. We'll also be on radio.com, on Spotify, Pandora, and something called Deezer. So make sure you check all those out. Spread the word, because let me go ahead and tell y'all something. You are not getting anything as natural or real as you are right now with us on Natural Sponge and Friends podcast, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to say a lot of things and mean something completely different. This world is crazy, and we are sitting here trying to tell you exactly what's going on. We had two 11-year-old girls in in the pod room tonight talking to you guys about just their life. And I promise you that something, someone, somewhere has learned something about their life and what can help them. And just so everyone out there knows, Kaylee Rae has got the baby in her pajamas, and now Cam Fam is rocking the fake baby to sleep. I don't know if it's just me as a guy, but baby dolls kind of creep me out.
Look, whenever
Is it
he
real?
tilts his head up, his eyes move. Scares me a little.
Yeah, that's creepy. I don't
No.
like that.
Whenever we were little, we had a bunch of American Girl dolls, and now they're like all in my sister's closet, and we have like 12. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're all in the closet, and they freak me out now.
I was like that with like wrestlers, little wrestling figurines. They're figurines. They're the size of my foot, not the size of my body. I don't know. Phoenix Roasters coffee. Go check it out.
Ew,
That's a Cabbage Patch Kid.
that one's really scary.
You ever heard of a Cabbage Patch Kid?
Yeah, my mom had one whenever she was little, and my grandma still has it.
Oh, sheesh.
And she has a teddy bear named Bruno. It's like
Bruno.
It's missing like an eye. It's missing part of its head, maybe a leg or
It's going
two.
through a lot.
It's gone through a lot.
It is.
More than
Still
that.
rocking though, baby.
It's still
Yeah.
going.
Still going. You heard that. Keep going. Still going. Kaylee Rae has left the pod room. Cam Fam, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks.
You're beautiful. I love it. Make sure you guys check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Phoenix Roasters Coffee. Check it out. Coffee that matters. You never know. Keep going. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Shout out real quick to Mike Posner.
To
Mike
Kaylee.
Posner is back. He got bit by the copperhead or whatever it was, and he is back
Ouch.
walking across America.
Oh.
He has made it from the Atlantic coast, and he is over in Colorado somewhere. Check him out at Mike Posner on Twitter. My dude is back walking the Duke grad, and he's the one that sang that. I took a pill and the bees tell the Fiji I was cool.
No, Sponge.
6 years
No,
old,
no.
something to do.
But this is the time when you kind of stop singing because you kind of start realizing
I don't sound good.
maybe chorus isn't going to be your thing.
But
That's
you know
probably
what?
the nicest way.
But you never know.
Sorry, Sponge.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. We out. Pod 11 in the books. Yeah.